This is Daniel Jeremiah from NFL.com. His latest mock draft. This from the Pat McAfee Show.
You just put out your third mock draft, I do believe, 3.0. And it seems like you and everybody else that's mock drafting have the first four the exact same. Is that because you're all getting information? You're all seeing the board the same way? Why do you think the front or the beginning of this draft is kind of settled in seemingly?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there is, broad consensus right now. I think probably more of a coincidence that we end up having them where we have them at this point in time. So I just Cam Ward going number one is something when you're talking to people around the league that just has become more of the expectation. I do feel good about that. Whether that's Tennessee or whether that's 2 or 3 trying to move up to that first spot, but that's the one that I feel the most confident. After that, I still think it's pretty up in the air. With Cleveland, I just was going through the different conversations that you would have inside the draft room, and I was thinking, look, I've been in those where you say, okay, would you rather have Shedeur Sanders at 2 and maybe like Nick Scorton, an edge rusher from A&M, in the second round, or would you rather take Abdul Carter and then maybe one of those next tier of quarterbacks in the second round? And I thought, man, the allure of Abdul Carter, what I think of him, as I think he's the best player in the draft. And then to come back with whether that's Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, your guy Will Howard, whoever you like in that second tier, that could be an option. I do think the Browns and the Giants leave the second round with a quarterback. It's just a matter of whether they take him at the top of 1 or whether they take him in round number 2.
And that's an interesting way of looking at it, and I'm sure that's what you're doing when you're building a roster. The idea of Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty attractive option to have. And if the Titans end up taking Cam Ward number 1 overall, I'm sure the Browns would be elated to have that as an opportunity. And I think Jeremiah nails it in the way that he looks at the situation, and I see it very similarly. I think Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter are obviously the top 2 non-quarterbacks on the board. Cam Ward is obviously a little bit, there's a gap between him and Shedeur, and the need for quarterbacks with 2 teams picking in the top 4, kind of bring Shedeur into the conversation. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Shedeur slips a little bit, and see what happens from there.